This is round 3. I'm not really sure what the second half of Spirit's message was supposed to be. Oh, they led me down a really weird avenue and then denied the message. I think it was more to order my line of reasoning than anything. But I'm gonna let it be what it is. What are we talking about, Spirit? 3 of Swords, heartbreak. About divine protection, self-defense, this could be about fear of the return from the past, because the white oak is our twin flame tree. 3 of Swords is heartbreak. We've been feeling a lot of emotions the last couple days about the twin flame and this whole process. There's been a lot of purging. I don't normally do cord cuttings, but I was guided to do them. I was led by Spirit to believe that somebody had tried to bind me in some way. Whether it was by word or action or just intent, I'm not sure. But I was directed to cut cords with a lot of people. Ten of Cups. But it never impacted me emotionally. And after I was done, I kept on checking and checking back to see if it had been lifted. And it was eventually. It wasn't my first try, though, to break that curse. It took some doing. But I managed. I'm good. And there was a turnaround for whoever sent the intention. But, we already put out the reading about karma here. But then we started getting all of these returned from the past readings. And I think one of the things that would normally have spun me out before was not knowing whether I was supposed to accept the ripple, the portal, somebody back into my life. I've always kept an open heart space, but I've always put myself first also. As part of this healing journey, you have to put yourself first, but also keep an open heart space. That's what you need to do. And with the twin flame, I made it very clear that if he came back, it was to discuss his presence in my life. The Hanged Man and the Heron. He kept me stuck for way too long for me to just turn around and be like, okay, yeah, let's go. You're in. That's not how this works. And not just the twin flame, but every single masculine failed the 1 week challenge where they had a week to get in contact with me and right their wrongs. Death. That put a real quick ending to every single relationship with any of these masculines. So, after I terminated those bonds and made it very clear that they'd missed their opportunity, that I would hear them out, but their chance to be part of my life was not on the table anymore. I went to Tennessee to my mom's and worked out the mother wound, since that's where the narcissistic cycles began. And since my big transmutation around January, King of Pentacles, Twin Hollies, that's soul connection, past life connection even, justice, independence. That is justice and independence from a soul tie. Divine justice, karmic retribution. With the 3 of Swords and the ancient white oak, that is divine justice for somebody trying to interfere with our protection. Confirm. Anyway, I went to Tennessee to deal with that cycle with no ties to any masculines at all. There was no way for the cycles to repeat because I did not have any Nine of Wands I was connected to. And I further severed those cords by unfollowing all of them when I got back home. But you can't cord cut a connection with a twin flame. That's just not an option. It's you. It's part of you. There's no running from a twin flame connection. But I never wanted to run from him. I set loving boundaries. That's what that was. I didn't turn around and say, I never want to see you again. He'll always have a place in my life. But what that place is depends on how he acts and what he wants and what he does. And if he can't be in my life because of the way that he's operating, then so be it. That's the Three of Pentacles, the Six of Cups, and the Ten of Cups. My peace will not be disturbed. That slow and stable movement is what it's going to take in order for me to consider that even down the line. But it's off the table until actions are proven. Indeed. But the others, all the other Nine of Wands, I did cord cuttings for those. And what restrained me was lifted, and I immediately started getting pieces back that had been taken from me. Confirmation. Nine of Swords. Maybe not pieces that had been taken. What's the right word, Spirit? The Lantern and the Hierophant. Order was restored where there was chaos. The Lantern and the Ripple and the Hierophant with the Hanged Man and the Heron. Blockages were released. That's a good way of putting it. Not pieces that were taken, but blockages that were released. Or blockages that were put in place were released. And after being unblocked, a lot of emotions came to the surface. I've been kind of wading through those. Strength confirmation. Strength, the Heron, and death. That is confirmation that the discipline we displayed in restoring order to our lives and expanding our minds was a direct result of the endings that we incurred beforehand. Queen of Wands is confirmation. By cutting all of those connections off, we were able to stabilize ourselves in our energy and return order where there was chaos. The Eclipse and the Empress. And all of this is post-eclipse at this point. We got exactly what we needed to continue our ascension process. We escaped interconnection. And that, in and of itself, was an act of justice. Gaining our independence. And returning to a state of light, happiness, and positivity. And the community had to wrestle with some new ideas about us. That lines up with divine justice and the Three of Wands. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks of you. Your actions are proven in deed, not in word. Nine of Cups. But Spirit has a tendency to set the record straight. And illusions will always come to the surface and be revealed for what they are. If somebody is working on disrupting your Ten of Cups, they will not succeed. They will get towers. We are in service to humanity. That lines up with the Lantern and the Ripple. and no amount of deception